Hello everyone, welcome back to a new Flesh and Blood video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 decks that I think are really dark horses in this meta, and going into 2025 which could be interesting heroes to pick up. And these heroes may have been S tier before and maybe have fallen down a little bit, or they're heroes that I really believe in and I think they could be super strong. Let's get right into it with Zen. So, Zen, he won the Calling Osaka, and really where I am at with him is I do think he's a dark horse sort of anti-meta pick, purely because he struggles into a hero that's very prominent, which is new. She incredibly high pick rates at so many tournaments at the moment. Armories to callings, new is played quite a lot, and Zen struggles. However, Zen also beats one of the really strong decks in the meta, which is of course Enigma, and that's really what Hair's going for him. So the list I bring you today is the Osaka first place list, as I think it is the most recent list that's proven to win. I think it's strong. It's got mid-range and quite a lot of value in it. It's got stuff like Count Your Blessings, which I've found is some people still run. It's less prominent than it was previously, but it's still definitely in the meta. And Guardians and some news still definitely run it. And Enigma, I think, might still be able to run it. But I think this is quite a strong deck. It does a lot of strong things, and although it does get hurt a lot by disruption and losing its power cards, its ability to both block with Flick Flax and also attack with stuff like Chase the Tails, and of course Bittering Thorn's a great card. Aspect of Tiger Body. Just all these things that combo together, although it's now a lot less strong than it was after all these bans, losing so many of its cards, still a very playable deck, and with powerful cards and lots of synergy, it still works at the highest level. So moving on, I've got Prism, and Prism is a similar thing to, like, the opposite actually for what I felt with Zen, where Prism destroys new, really runs over new, and like Illusionist, just great against new. New also runs very few poppers compared to like a Zuri, who can still pop and fight her way through a Prism. New struggles even more. So the go again builds that new can see and does run sometimes, they do better as they're able to clear the ward and still attack. However, the really disruption based, less chi sort of builds are going to struggle into Prism. And because Prism really only runs 9 blue attacks, she can somewhat effectively keep them away from new. And then moving on from that, I think she does quite well into Enigma from what I've played against Enigmas with Prism, and I'm not the best Prism and I'm still able to beat them. You can take out your anti-popper stuff, they only run 3, and then sort of run them over with a bit more value than Enigma. And altogether, if you're a good Prism player, I really think you can just take Prism to the highest level, and Prism is a really strong deck that I think can just come out and top for a Calling or Battle Harden at any point in time with the right pilot. So if you're looking to get like really into a hero, into the class, and because I mean her cards are pretty cheap because she's the only one that plays the like Illusionist cards. So if you're looking to, like, I don't know, really get into a hero and learn everything about them and win, I think Prism's a great hero, and people are definitely expecting her less than others. And Phantasmal Footsteps is a necessary one. I just had to say that as well. Phantasmal Footsteps is very good in this deck, and Library, well, this is such a fun card. So yeah, I really think Prism's quite cool, and I think she's still playable. And definitely a dark horse that could pop into a top 8 at any point in time. Next one is Riptide. Riptide's been an interesting one for a long time, being a completely unusable hero throughout, like, since his release in Outsiders, and every set just slowly getting more and more support. He got Intoxicating Shot and Evo. Well, what else has he just got support from? Well, he's got the Stone Rain in, is that the Azalea one, and Murky Water, newest in Mistveil, great card. With all the support, now you've gone away from the fatigue traps builds, where it's kind of all your game plan is just to fatigue them, into a red line build that's so strong, completely cuts off defense reactions. So he becomes a difficult deck to block with relevant on hits, disruption, just a very strong deck. And I think with his switchboard kind of style, where he's able to chuck in all these traps that get him so much value, and then also run redline and just completely blast his opponents, he's a really strong deck, and I was really pushing him towards one of the top 5 decks to pick up at the moment, but I felt because of the Riptide rep he's gotten recently, and his still struggling to come out first in some events, I can't put him in those top 5 decks to pick up, but I definitely think he's a dark horse, and at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if he just wins a Calling or some big event, honestly. he's so strong, and he does really strong things after being so useless for such a long time. This red line build is really fun. He's obviously got access to one of the best cards in the game. And yeah, I think if you're looking, if you got some Ranger cards, I would say pick up Riptide. I really want to pick up Riptide personally, and I'm really going to look into it as I've got a lot of the cards already. So Riptide, definitely one you should be looking at, and one I'm going to be looking at in the future as well. Moving on to Darthia. So this is a slightly controversial one because Darthia has been so middling at the moment, just playing a little bit too fair. Like, she can surprise, but then she can brick hands where she doesn't have go again, or she doesn't have reactions, and you can kind of snowball away from her. However, I'm purely putting this here because of many games I've had recently against Darthia, I feel like I'm so ahead, and then they're able to snowball back with just like one misstep against the Darthia, and they blast you. Ironsong Determination, such a good card. Paired with Singing Steel Blade, Twinning Blade, all these cards, just really powerful, and definitely one I still recommend picking up. It's not as good as the other decks on this list, and it's probably one of my lesser recommended ones. But if you really like Warrior, I think she's a really fun hero to play. And I wouldn't be surprised if Darthia did top 8 an event. I think winning Calling with her would be tough. But Darthia's ceiling is still reasonably high, and I think she does well into decks that don't want to block. I think she can, in some cases, outrace Aurora if she gets her cards at the right time. And because it comes to getting the cards at the right time, that's why she's not up there in the AS tiers hero. But she's still considerably strong, and I would still recommend playing her if you like her. And finally, it's a little bit of a it's definitely a controversial pick, and definitely one that I'm sure a lot of you guys will like and a lot of you guys will dislike. But Fire Rising Rebellion, he's been coined as the worst hero of the game, but this deck I've been testing a lot with. I've made multiple videos on it if you guys want to just check out the videos. I've made 3 videos on a similar deck list, or this deck list, and I believe in it so much that I'm putting it on this list as a dark horse that you guys should pick up. He's going to get loads of support in the next set, January 31st. We'll see all those cards. You'll be able to upgrade your fire list, and I think he'll get stronger from that. Just a few more cards like Blaze Headlong, he becomes really good again. Just more 0-for-4s, and boom, he's blasting. And yeah, I think this deck list is so fun. The Phoenix combos, the Phoenix forms. Honestly, this deck list could high roll yourself to a win in a Pro Quest, or even more. So it has, the ceiling of this deck is incredibly high. I did a 36 damage turning against a Viscerai, ended up winning. That was in the last video. If you guys want to check that out, I really like making that video. I really like playing this deck, and I think you guys should recommend, really try this deck out, because I think it's still so strong. So yeah, that's sort of all I have to say about that. Wait, oh, get the right one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. All those deck lists will be in the comments down below if you want to check them out. Give them a go on look at the list on Fabre, figure out how much they cost in your area, and play them on Talishar. But yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. 98% of my audience is not subscribed, so if you guys wouldn't mind clicking the red button, subscribing, and liking the video while you're down there, I really appreciate it. It helps me make more content and keeps growing as a channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.